My name is Ryan Jones. Not only have I put my family through hell and back, I also have been through hell and back. I have dealt with eating disorder, bulimia, anorexia, overexercise addiction, OCD eating, and of course, my biggest one is alcoholism. People should know that this is a serious problem because I have a term that it's like, when you go into a swimming pool and you try to hold your breath as long as you can, your brain will override itself and immediately you'll jump up for air and gasp for air. And that's sort of like what it is for alcoholism, because it's poison that you put into your body, but you have to have it. Because once you start that process, once you take that first drink, and it's almost literally, it's almost impossible to stop, because even if you try as hard as you can, all your willpower, it's like you would literally have to be locked in a cage unless to stop. You will do whatever it takes to fix that problem, and your brain works that way. It's like it needs it more than, if it's almost like if you're in the desert, your body will crave water, and it's just gasping for water. That's the only thing your body needs. That's how alcoholism is for me personally, and it's been something that I've dealt with for a very long time, since I was a teenager.
So Ryan, when did you start drinking?
I started at the age of 17. I was taking care of my aunt and uncle's dogs at the time. Found, hydrocodone pills, which I stole. I found bottles of liquor, and that was the first time that I ever took a drink, Antonio. And I felt like I found the magic drug. It fixed all my problems at that time, and I thought that, I literally said out loud, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. It fixed all my problems. It took all my fear away, because I wouldn't talk to girls. I was being bullied. I had no confidence, no self-esteem. I was just, rebellious against my parents. I put my parents through hell and back. I mean, I still do to this day. And, I've been blessed with a family that has ridden this ridiculous roller coaster with me. And it's not only my family. It's a serious disease, and it's something that I think people should really know about, because, people think that you can just stop. It's not. It doesn't work that way. Once you have that in your body, and once your body is dependent on something, eating disorder, drugs, or alcohol, it's something that substitutes something that's in the brain. There's something in the brain that makes your body feel like you need something that can substitute fear. And I think that addiction and all this other stuff combined, whether you have one or the other or all of them combined whatsoever, that there's something in the brain that is not necessarily working. And when you use these things and it fixes that problem, it becomes a necessity. But it's also something that kills you, and it causes people to be homeless. It causes people to go to prison. I've been to prison. I've been to jail because of it. I was in a DUI that paralyzed somebody. I didn't want that to happen. At that time, she was my friend. And, I've destroyed so much shit. And I've tried to do it myself. I've tried to do it with other people. But it comes down to really saying that you really want this to end. I mean, you live in hell. You get to the point where at first it's magical, and then it just becomes a complete disaster.
So what made you try that drink and say do this for the rest of my life?
I don't know. I mean, I was adopted. I was in foster care when I was younger. I don't have really any family history. The only thing that I really know is that my birth mother used drugs when she was pregnant with me. I don't want. I mean, I have the chance to have contact with her, and I don't do it. I have huge resentment because I feel like, I mean, there's just answers that I don't have that I'm trying to seek for the reason I do this And that's why I choose, I've chosen personally to put myself in eating disorder treatment, alcohol and drug treatment, and it works. But the problem that I have is I try to take matters into my own hands instead of following directions. I think I have all the answers, and it ends me up in the exact same place. They have a definition that says, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. And that's something that you will see with almost every single addict, and eating disorder too. Eating disorder is an addiction, and it's something that almost killed me. I emotionally ate when I was in high school to compensate for being bullied. And then I got bullied for being overweight. I took matters in my own hands and starved myself. I wouldn't eat, and every time I ate, I would throw up. And I have lacerations, gastrointestinal tears, stomach ulcers, serious health problems that are because of this. But yet, even though I have all these problems, I still will drink, knowing the disaster it will cause. And that's the crazy part, is that's the part of the mind that you're going to destroy everything, but yet you still do it. And it ends people homeless, it ends people in prison, it ends people dead.
What makes you think that you can't stop yourself?
Because once you start the process, it's almost like it fixes your problems. But
in other words, you're thinking in that moment,
you just want to fix the problem. And then it's the problem with the mind.
Yeah.
There's something in your mind, like the neurotransmitters, something that has to do with the dopamine and serotonin. Because when you use things like, bulimia, anorexia, and stuff like that, it's to compensate for something else. There's something in the mind that's missing, because there's people that can, have a couple beers and they're good. There's some people that once they take one beer, they're headed to the liquor store and game over. It's just a matter of time before shit hits the fan. And it's happened to me, I can't even tell you how many times. And
okay, how old are you?
I'm 27. My birthday is today.
Today?
Yes. I turned 27 today. Well, thank you.
So you've been dying to know any official name?
PTSD and chronic anxiety and agoraphobia. Now, agoraphobia is just like, I get fear of going to new places because I don't know what's going to happen. I get fear of not knowing, like for instance, like when I came to like any type of new treatment center or anything, I don't know who's going to be there. I don't know what's going to happen, and that freaks me out. And that's when I start to want the alcohol, because if I have the alcohol, I'm calm, I'm able to concentrate. And the thing is, when I drink, I don't necessarily, I'm drunk, but I don't really slur. It's like it's medication.
Right.
But the problem is the medication is killing you, and it causes you to do things because your mind is not working right. You think your mind's working right, but it's not. And it makes you do things. It makes your mind think that you're doing the right thing, but you're not. And it causes a chain reaction that always ends in disaster. Always. And it's different for every people. And like I said, and I'm being very repetitive on this because I personally dealt with, I can't even tell you how many times Antonio, and how many people have gotten hurt. And
okay,
the situation.
So when in that moment, it's like that's what I'm trying to understand about the moment. In that moment, when we do something, to you it seems right at the time you do it.
Yes.
That's my point. That's what I try to tell people to do. Whatever we do in that moment, once the mind is made up its mind, nobody can stop you. You think you're doing the right thing, even if you're doing something that other people think is bad.
Absolutely.
You can't help yourself in doing it, right?
No, because your mind's not working right. You have chemical. Not only is your brain already at the state where it's not. It's at the point that, like, once you're an addict or an alcoholic, you're always an alcoholic or an addict, and it's something that you have to take care of. You have to stay sober, because once you start that chain reaction, like for let me give you for instance, like I will do something when I'm drinking that I think is 100% right. But to everybody else who's not drinking, they're like, what the hell is he doing?
Okay, is that something that you get angry, upset, or fight?
No, I know. I'm a very
usually brings the worst to people.
No, I'm a very happy drunk, but the problem is it makes me make decisions that are not only irrational, but they hurt other people, but I think that I'm doing the right thing. And that's what's so messed up about it.
And that's what people have a hard time understanding. And since you can't, so right now, I mean, if most people say, okay, then drink all your life and be happy, right?
Yeah.
But then at the same time, you know it's not good for you.
Yeah, and I've personally tried to, I've tried to stop myself, and it ends me up in the hospital. It ends me up, like, it is no exaggeration. I've spent.
Okay, what happened? Tell me what happens when you try to stop even.
Well, let's say, for instance, the last time I tried to stop, I was on the floor for about 18, 20 hours, vomiting, constantly blood, bile, and when I say blood, like black, because because of the damage that has been done for the eating disorder, my esophagus and stomach have just been ripped apart because of the constant throwing up, the constant starvation. So when you go through alcoholic withdrawals, alcohol is the one drug, I call it a drug, that will kill you if you stop. And I literally was crying constantly, and the only thing that my body was telling me was I need water. But the moment the water hit my stomach, I would immediately vomit. And I was trying to get all the blood out, all the bile out, and just try to hold the water in. And I was praying to God, please kill me. I'm in so much pain. I can't do this anymore. Like, I've hurt so many people. God, take me away so I don't hurt someone else. I'm done.
Well, how did you hurt people?
It's very complicated. Like for instance, the DUI that I was in. Someone got paralyzed.
You were driving?
I was driving a motorcycle. Yes.
Motorcycle.
Yes. And I wrecked the bike, and the passenger that was riding with me got ran over and pinned underneath the car. She lost her career. She lost everything. And I've struggled to do necessary things, like I'm on probation. I've almost screwed that up. I went to Texas. Got arrested in Texas, and by the grace of God, I got another second chance. I've had second chances. I mean, say this is like the 20th chance, and it's gotten to the point where if I drink again, I will die, because if I go through withdrawals again, through the damage that is already done, it will kill me. And that's what the doctors have said.
So that's the limit stuff.
Yes.
Not using.
Well, that was past stuff.
Right now, basically, the alcohol, that's the same effect you would have even if you didn't have.
Well, this is the crazy part about it, is people with like dual diagnosis that also have mental issues. Like, for instance, if I stop drinking and I'm sober, I will switch to another like addiction, like overexercise, anorexia, emotional eating, bulimia, and then if I try to stop that, get on medication and then try to get sober, I will find something else to compensate, because something in my brain needs that for me to just not be. Fear runs my life, and it's something in my brain that just makes me just scared of absolutely everything, and I don't know why. I don't have answers for it.
That was my question. Do you think there's something buried in your brain somewhere that it's causing you?
Yes, sir.
So, what age were you?
I was 1.5 or 2.
So you don't remember?
No, I don't. So the information that I have is that I was eaten alive, almost dead, in a trailer home somewhere in Texas, and CPS had to come and get me because someone made a call, someone did something, or it was my birth mother made the call, or apparently all I know is that I was abandoned and left for pretty much dead. At least that's what I remember. It could, and that's what I've been told. And my parents don't tell me a lot of stuff. They've shared a little bit to try to give me a little bit of information, but I don't. I've told them I don't want to know. I don't.
Okay, so what kind of relationship?
My relationship with my parents. I have amazing parents. They have been by my side, and I've stabbed them and I've screwed them over, despite everything they've done for me. And
so you basically can't help yourself. Normal people that call themselves normal do irrational things too, but they don't realize they're doing it. You told me you were homeless. How do you tie all this to homelessness? The grind, what's making you do all this stuff?
Well, in the past, I have been technically homeless. I was living on a person's couch who was in a program called Narcotics Anonymous. My dad flew out to California to come take care of me because I was about to be homeless, and luckily they were able to transfer me back to Texas, and my parents brought me back to the house, and I did good for a while, and then I started drinking again. My dad said, "You got to go. I warned you." I said, "If you drink again, you can't live here."
I noticed you're in a wheelchair. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it's because of the alcohol withdrawal. I went. My heart stopped because I tried to stop on my own, and the ambulance had to come get me. Seizure, and my legs locked up, and was paralyzed. I couldn't use my legs when I first got here, and did physical therapy, but I kept on. I fell in the shower, did damage, and then I fell again because once again I tried to take matters into my own hands and not accept help from people. And I don't listen to people because for some reason I think I have all the answers and I don't. And my biggest problem is I need to take direction from people that are a lot wiser and have a lot more knowledge than me.
Okay. So what's the next plan for you?
I'm seeing a neurologist to get a brain scan to try to find out some answers about why I have these issues, because there's definitely something that's not working. And I think it's in a lot of people it comes hereditary. I mean, it's people. Yeah. Some people are born into it,
yes.
And there's something that once like I said, I thought it was magical, and that set off a chain reaction that caused complete destruction. And it doesn't happen for every people, and it happens for some people. And I really think that there's something in the brain that with certain people, it affects them. It causes them to be homeless. It causes them to do things, rob people, because they need their next fix. They need their next drink. It causes people to, through trauma. I have PTSD. I have chronic anxiety, and it's we seek these things out because it fixes those problems. And if there's a problem in the brain, there's something in the brain that is misplaced. It's almost like an engine. It's almost like there's one cylinder. The engine still runs, but there's one cylinder that's not firing.
All right. Okay, Ryan. I really appreciate you sharing this information.
Absolutely, man.
It's
to help people and try to get the knowledge out there that this is a serious issue. And the damage I've done. If I could do anything to prevent someone else from doing things that I've done, 100%, I will do it.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.